Hello everyone, let's decode the jaundice. So first we know what is a conjugated bilirubin, what is unconjugated bilirubin. So the unconjugated bilirubin is present in the blood and it is insoluble to the water. So if it insoluble to water, in any condition it cannot come into the urine. So unconjugated bilirubin. Now what is conjugated bilirubin? So the unconjugated bilirubin, by reacting with glucuronil transferase, it becomes conjugated bilirubin in the liver, and this is water soluble. But in normal condition, this conjugated bilirubin does not come into the systemic circulation, so it is also not found in the urine in normal conditions. So what happens, this conjugated bilirubin, it goes into the GIT, where it break down into the urobilinogen and stercobilinogen, which come into the urine and feces respectively. But in normal condition it does not come, but if it is coming into the urine, so there is some disease. Now the second thing which we know is what is obstructive and what is non-obstructive jaundice. So obstructive jaundice means there is some obstruction, like this is liver. So this is the, just imagine कि from here the conjugated bilirubin is going into the GIT. If someone have obstruction over there, so conjugated bilirubin will be accumulated in the liver only, it cannot going into the GIT. So there is no protection of the urobilinogen, no protection of the stercobilinogen. So the conjugated bilirubin will automatically come into the systemic circulation and it will come into the urine also. So the obstructive jaundice is kind of jaundice where we get conjugated bilirubin into the blood. Now non-obstructive jaundice is like this is the liver, there is no obstruction from unconjugated bilirubin to conjugated bilirubin, but somehow this liver is not taking that unconjugated bilirubin, or unconjugated bilirubin is too much that it will be in the blood only. So in non-obstructive jaundice we get unconjugated bilirubin in high amounts. Now what are the causes which can give rise to the unconjugated bilirubinogen if there is excess production? So the unconjugated bilirubin made from the blood cells. So if there is hemolytic anemia or ineffective erythropoiesis, they both are condition will give rise to the unconjugated bilirubinogen. Like all the conditions where you are getting the blood is degraded, which can give rise to the in higher amount, which can give rise to the unconjugated bilirubin. Now second thing is the liver is not taking the conjugated. So if there is some drugs, or in Gilbert disease, the Gilbert disease is just kind of the mixture of two mechanism. So if some drugs or the Gilbert disease, there can be the unconjugated bilirubin. The third thing is when there is defective conjugation. So the condition which can give rise to defective conjugation is like the breast milk jaundice, physiological jaundice, and in the what I said, and in the Gilbert disease. Now like for conjugated or unconjugated, the fourth thing is for conjugated or unconjugated bilirubinogen, there can be obstructive like these things, and it can be the genetic disease. For unconjugated, it's a Gilbert and Kigler-Nagar syndrome. So for remembering this, there is a mnemonic is UGC. UGC is an exam for the, I guess, for the professor in the degree colleges. So from for U is a unconjugated, G for Gilbert, and C for Kigler-Nagar syndrome. And for conjugated is Dubin-Johnson syndrome and the Rotor syndrome. Now now other thing is, if someone said that there is some unconjugated jaundice, or someone say this is non-obstructive jaundice, or someone say it is indirect jaundice, they both are all three are same. For conjugated jaundice, a conjugated jaundice, obstructive jaundice, or direct jaundice. Okay. Now all the causes of jaundice which are genetics, the four causes, they all are autosomal recessive. Now just talk about what are the difference between, how to difference between the obstructive jaundice and the genetic kind of the jaundice. The symptoms are more likely same, but the difference is about the alkaline phosphatase. The alkaline phosphatase is very high in amount if there is a obstructive jaundice, and in a normal range if it is the genetic. Now talk about the Dubin-Johnson syndrome. Dubin-Johnson syndrome, the most important thing is the black liver. Due to deposition of the conjugated bilirubin, it is a gross appearance of black of liver. Then MRP2 gene mutation, normally asymptomatic, but pregnancy or oral contraceptive pills can give rise to this low grade jaundice. Then for diagnosis we do BSF test, BSP test, that is the BSP test, and that is for bromosulfin test. Now Kigler-Nagar syndrome, which is due to glucuronil transferase enzyme deficiency. It is of two type 1 and type 2. The type 1, in type 1 the conductance is more prone, and the type 2 is phenobarbital responsive. If just remember, if phenobarbital responsive, so connectors cannot be there because we can correct that. So this is all about the jaundice.